If you've been in the audience for a while, you know that when I was a teacher, I told students I don't break up fights. If you want to fight, if you have a disagreement with someone, you better find a healthy way to deal with it if I'm around. Because if I'm around and you want to get into a fight, you better be prepared to finish that fight. I don't break up fights. They don't pay me enough for that, and I don't want to get hurt. So I think this teacher here agrees with me, even though you're going to see this teacher is more than capable of physically breaking it up. Check this out. Okay, so it starts off. You have these two students, they're right next to each other and they want to fight. They could have fought over here. So I'm wondering if this teacher's thinking, you guys really don't want to fight. So he does, and I probably would have done this. Maybe I would have done this. Like, he just puts up a little resistance just to remind the student, hey, do you really want to do this? You sure about that? You sure about that? So let's watch. So at that point, students not listening. The teacher said, okay, have at it. Now, we're in a really difficult situation here because when students start to fight in the classroom and you've decided that I'm not going to break up fights, at this point you do have a responsibility to call for help and protect the rest of the students who are in the room, because with fights you just never know, it can go to all four corners of the room. So let's watch on here.
Mr. Farmer, would you please send Xavier?
So like I said, the fight can go to all four corners of the room, but did you hear just right on cue? It was amazing. It was like they had an idea. Is there something going on in there? So as they call for the student over the intercom, he's yelling, "I need admin! I need admin!" He's calling for help, trying to get some help in there. And again, I don't fault him at all. He has a policy. I'm not breaking up fights, and so he casually walks by to. He's gonna go yell for help. And then definitely, like I said, I'd like to see some. We got to get those kids. Got to get those kids out of there because their tendency is to stand around and watch, record, but it's just not safe because you saw how quickly the fight went from the door to the other side of the room, and they're moving furniture around, so it's not safe. So at this point, just look at the look on this student's face. Like he's about done. Like we're maybe 10, 15 seconds into this thing, and this student is out of gas. And as a matter of fact, well, just keep watching. But yeah, I this teacher right here, I don't know what is this student is just in a world of his own. I don't know what maybe he's looking at a video or something on TikTok, or he's just in his own world as this fight is going on in front of him, not concerned about his physical safety. Here we have someone recording, and obviously we have someone in the corner recording as well. So I would say, only little critique I would say is let's get these students out of the way. So he's saying, I need admin, admin, help. And so look, so the video's about to end, but you see this guy, this guy's done. He doesn't want to fight anymore. But his help is over here, his lifeline that he was counting on to physically restrain him so he doesn't have to fight. No, not gonna help you out. I tried to help you out, but you walked past me. So yeah, I don't see anything wrong with what the teacher did. And like I said, yeah, I'd like to get the rest of those students out of there because it's just not safe. Because if these students did decide to continue, then there's just no telling where they're going. Um, you know, thankfully these are the deaths that are connected to the chair. But in certain situations, yeah, I've seen students throw furniture around. So yeah, I'd like to see just effort to clear out the room. But I this teacher did nothing wrong. I think this teacher gave just enough warning to this student that hey, you don't want to do that. And the student decided not to heed the warning, and as a result, he finds himself in a fight, and it's quite possible that he got hurt when he was pushed here against these desks. But that's the decision that that student made. That's what that student wanted to do. But going back to the teacher's actions, I mean, I see nothing wrong. Obviously, we can see this teacher is big enough physically to stop a fight. But again, you guys don't get paid enough for that, and I don't want you guys to get hurt. So what I probably would maybe I would have done that. You know what else I would have done too, is I would have told the student to get out, and I would have yelled like at well no not yell, but I would have just like I would have projected to that student, get out, something like that, because whatever is going to go down here, I want it to take place outside of my classroom so that you don't hurt anybody else. You are committed by fighting. You're committed to hurting yourself or hurting this other person that you're fighting with. I'm not going to let you possibly hurt the rest of your classmates or destroy my room. So get out. That's what I would have said to this guy. Get out. Hey man, are you sure you really don't want to do this? You know that's what it would have been. Because then when you project like that, and it doesn't work all the time, but when you project like that above that noise, above that yelling, that reminds them that hey, I'm here. This is my classroom. I'm the leader in this classroom. I'm in charge here, and I'm telling you to get out. So yeah, that's the that's the ideal situation. Is this student leaves, this student still wants some. Okay, and they're out in the hallway, and there's cameras, and then boom, right on time, they came over the intercom. I need admin in the hallway. These boys are fighting, but I think the bottom line here is like you guys. I don't want you guys breaking up fights. You don't have to break up fights. That you don't get paid enough for that, and I don't want you to get hurt. So nothing wrong with what this teacher did. I think these students probably knew that this teacher wasn't playing when he probably told them, say, hey, I'm not gonna break it up. So his teacher had enough, and there you go.